working
Yep.
on a bit of a project here. I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to kind of give this. You've seen this before. This
Yep.
project plan that I'm working
Yeah.
on, and what I've done is I've collected risks,
Mm-hmm.
put them into a chart. I wanted to ask you a quick question on all of these risks. There's only a few of them.
Mm-hmm.
Quick fire buzz around. How likely are these to occur? Okay, so probability of occurrence. You can say high, medium, low. Okay. Now, there's no caveats because I know what you're going to say. You're going to say, Mike, if you do spend enough time in planning, the likelihood of these occurring is low. Okay, so you can't say that. Okay, on your experience in the projects that you've been involved in. Okay, you can use that. You can use that.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not advice. It's not future advice. It's from your
Sure.
past. Okay,
Yeah.
so data loss or corruption. How likely has that? How many times has that happened? How likely is it due to occur?
Oh, I think that's pretty low. I mean,
No. Okay.
even the simplest copies or things like that are going to have some checking and things like that. And of course, CrowdStrike notwithstanding, but yeah, I think that's fairly low. That's not going to happen all the time or very often, I don't think.
Okay. I think the risk of impact is very, very high.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, again,
Okay.
CrowdStrike, right?
All right. Yeah. Downtime overruns.
Um, I'd say that's a given.
Probability of occurring. Okay.
That's a
That's a
given.
high.
It's going to
Okay.
happen. So somewhere
Okay.
somewhere you're going to do that. I've only seen one or two projects that came in under the downtime, and even in that case, it was a case of, well, okay, we think we're going to take 4 hours of downtime. Let's tell a user we're going to take six,
I was going
and
to
then
say
we
eight.
overran the four by 15 minutes. But so what? The user was expecting six, and we
Yeah.
told them, oh, here you are. You're an hour and 45 minutes early. Okay, great. But
Yeah.
that's a case of
They're
managing
good. They're good.
expectations, right? So,
Yeah. Right. Right.
but
Okay.
the actual overrun is always going to
performance.
happen. Yeah.
Right. Performance degradation. I'm told that this will always happen. Post migration, there's so many levers within the database that it's impossible to catch. What's your experience?
I disagree. Well, I mean, okay. I guess it depends on your definition of performance degradation. Significant degradation, I'd say, is probably medium probability of occurrence. Um,
Okay.
and the risk could be medium to high. But again, if you've done your testing and you've done your testing right, you'll know that ahead of time, and you will have
No, you're
mitigated
not allowed to say that.
any big things.
Clay, you're not allowed to say that.
Yeah, I know, but
Budget overruns. Probability of occurring. In your experience.
low to medium.
Low to medium. All right.
Again, if you plan right.
Yeah. 100%. Incompatibility of new database in your experience in the past. Probability of occurring.
I'd like to say low, but the reality is it's high. I mean, again, if you've done it right, you should. The one I remember and I bring up all the time is, getting data out of a SQL Server database or an Oracle database into a SQL Server database. And the definition in the Oracle database was, a number with two decimals, right? 8.5 or 8.51 or something like that. The DBA says, "Oh no, I know that field. That field's always going to be an integer. Don't worry about it." Right? 5 minutes after the conversion starts, somebody puts a 1.5 in the field. The target database chokes and says, "Wait a minute! You just told me put a floating point number in an integer field. I can't do that." So,
Yeah.
or a vendor, they're taking their own application, right, and they're porting it from Oracle to SQL Server. Well, they built the SQL Server side and they did the right thing and they said, oh, all these columns have got to be not null because, oh, yeah, there's got to be data in there. There's got to be data in that field. Got to be data in that field, right? So they got all these columns with not null. So we go make a copy. First time we make a copy of the data from the Oracle database to SQL Server database. SQL Server database chokes. Wait a minute, you're telling me to put a null value in a field that's supposedly not null. And this was a vendor where the database was supposed to be the same database, right? Come on, you know. But
Yeah, yeah.
that goes back to lack of proper planning and lack of testing, you know.
Would you argue modeling?
Yeah.
Would modeling
yeah.
have fixed
yeah.
that?
Yep. Oh yeah.
There you go. So Clay, your top 3 tips for successful data migration is holding. Okay, security vulnerabilities. A probability of occurring.
100%. I mean,
Really, really.
yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, nobody is perfectly patched, right? Or if you are perfectly patched today, you're not going to be perfectly patched tomorrow. The bad guys are always going to come up with something, or some really wild esoteric workaround that nobody's thought of before. Again, you mitigate the risk. You apply all the latest patches. You do all those things ahead of time, and the probability of it biting you is fairly small, and the risk can be minimized. But
okay. Project delays. Project delays. I'm going to assume high.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Again.
No, you can't say planning. But in your experience.
Well, no, because there's always things you can't plan for. Somebody gets sick at the last minute. There's a rainstorm and the streets flood. And somebody can't get to where they need to be. Power goes out. I mean.
Yeah. Yeah. But because migrations are so long as well, all these micro losses are
exactly. Exactly. Now, should you plan for those? Absolutely. But are they going to happen? Yeah, of course.
I think you're leaning into planning again. Regulatory compliance issues. How many in your experience? How many times have these popped up and caused an issue?
I'm going to say it depends.
I'm going to say it's low. Would you not? I'd expect low.
No, I'd say first of all it depends. I mean, if you're in a highly regulated industry and your regulators want to find something, they will. But is it again? Can you mitigate the risks and can you make sure that can you plan for it? Yeah, you can. But
yeah. Gotcha.
I'd say it's going to be it really depends. Depends on the industry and depends on the data.
In the last 2, we have our technical expertise and user adaptation challenges. That's change management. That last one's change management. How likely? What's the probability of them occurring in your experience? Well, let's take technical expertise gaps.
I'd say medium. I mean, again, that's the unplanned thing that nobody's ever thought about, or you scratch your head a little bit and figure out what happened. And interestingly enough, when we get into that, there's
you got to phone a friend.
Yeah, right. But there's also the shock factor, right? Oh, wow! I've never seen that before. Let's panic for a few minutes, and then you really have to, take a deep breath. Yeah, we planned for this. We planned for the fact that something unexpected was going to happen. This is the unexpected. Now we're going to fix it. Well, how do we fix it? Okay, then you go off and you do your plan to fix it. But yeah, it can happen. I mean,
okay. And user adaptation challenges, medium, high, medium, low. I would say it's going to be high.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Change is hard. Nobody likes change. Somebody's going to find something wrong with whatever it is. And the question is, how do you help them adapt, and how do you, again, understand that and mitigate? And if you planned right, you know that you're changing this data in this way. This is going to be an adaptation. This is going to be we're going to need,
Well,
need to train users.
This one's really. That's my point. This is so as I change that to high from medium to high, the risk map turned red. Okay,
Yeah.
and this is one of the strong reasons why there's a change management